Democrats are taking in multi-millions from foreigners and no one seems to care. It's crazy how no one cares or understands how big of a deal foreign influence is in our government, and it seems like the majority of the influence peddling is coming from the Democrat side. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store where I have I Will Not Comply t-shirts. All right, let's talk about this news. This past week alone, there were multiple articles of top Democrats taking multi-millions from foreigners. This is supposed to be against the law for obvious reasons, but no one seems to care. This past week, Breitbart reported that Leonardo DiCaprio testified in an Obama campaign money laundering trial. They said actor Leonardo DiCaprio appeared in Washington Monday to testify in the trial of Fuji rapper Praz Kazrel. Praz is what he's called. I can't pronounce his first name. Michael, who is accused of illegally funneling money from fugitive Malaysian financier Jeho Tak Low to the Barack Obama campaign through straw donors. Michael, a founding member of the 1990s hip hop group the Fugees, is accused of illegally funneling foreign donations to Obama's 2012 campaign for president that was secured from Malaysian financier. Um, it is illegal for foreigners to donate money to U.S. political campaigns. And DiCaprio testified that he was surprised by the amount of money he saw being donated to the Obama campaign. Quote, it was a significant sum, something to the tune of 20 to $30 million, DiCaprio said on the stand, according to the New York Post. Quote, I said, wow, that's a lot of money. The Hollywood star was called to testify because he had been a close U.S. associate with of Lowe, having taken his donations for charities as well as financing for his award-winning 2013 film The Wolf of Wall Street. Lowe was well known among Hollywood A-listers for throwing lavish parties, inviting top executives and actors on expensive vacations, doling out flights on his private jet, and attending and donating at numerous charity events. But he is now accused of embezzling his millions and is on a run. Obama was famous for disregarding the law and doing whatever he wanted. This attitude and practice is the current modus operandi in the U.S. government today. And Breitbart also reported this week on the Democrats' new George Soros, Swiss billionaire Hans-Jörg Weiss. Now, this guy's donating huge sums to the Democrat causes that are destroying this country. Um, they say that they report that billionaire Hans-Jörg Weiss, a Swiss national who lives in Wyoming, has become a Democrat-aligned mega donor, according to the Associated Press, thanks to his funneling hundreds of millions of dollars to left-wing groups. Newly available tax documents show that his giving through the Berger Action Fund, which describes itself as advocating for solutions to some of our world's biggest problems, swelled in 2021 to $72 million, cementing Weiss's status as a Democratic-aligned mega donor, the AP reports. Now, Weiss, who built his fortune creating the medical device company Synthesis USA, which was sold in 2012 to Johnson & Johnson for $20 billion, has routed nearly $340 million through the Berger Action Fund to left-wing organizations like 1630 Fund and the New Venture Fund since 2016. See, this is what they do. That's how they keep this power. They create these funds and things like that where they can move their money over to these causes that and that's what they do. But both groups have worked to build support for President Joe Biden's agenda. Specifically, 1630 Fund is a left-wing lobbying organization that promotes, quote, equity and racial justice, as well as universal health care and climate change legislation. You know, the usual stuff that the leftists go for. That's ruining this country. But the 1630 Fund also shifts money to left wing political organizations like the scandal plagued Lincoln Project and the pro Biden group Unite the Country. As Political reports in 2021, the group spent $410 million in the 2020 presidential election to unseat then President Donald Trump and win Democrats a Senate majority with ad campaigns and a huge get out the vote effort since 2016. Weiss has donated $208 million to the 1630 Fund. I mean, just throwing money at these groups. Um, and the Gateway Pundit wrote about Weiss in 2021, noting that despite his huge amounts of donations to the Democrats, there is no evidence that he is a U.S. citizen. And in 2020, three individuals with foreign roots financed the Democrats. Weiss and George Soros were two of the three, with the third being Pierre Omidyar. These men have issues even with their citizenship status. Now, Herjorn Weiss, the richest man in Switzerland, may not even be a United States citizen. The article notes that his $135 million in STF dark money donations were, quote, earmarked for non-electoral purposes. Now, George Soros illegally immigrated to the United States in 1950. Aside from his history of Nazi collaboration, which I've done tons of videos on and wrote about, which should have barred his entry and made him deportable, an account states that his visa was based on a false affidavit filed on his behalf. Now, Pierre Omidyar, an Iranian immigrant, currently the richest man in Hawaii, is a big tech billionaire born to wealthy foreign students in Paris who brought him here as a child. His mother, a Berkeley academic, heads a pro-Iran group financed by her son's fortune. Omidyar injected an estimated $45 million into an STF fund. The billionaire handled their own initiatives related to this past election. Omidyar financed both Black Lives Matter and Never Trumpers. The eBay billionaire is the hidden hand behind the fake Facebook whistleblower advocating censoring conservatives. He has a project to, quote, reimagine capitalism while funding The Intercept, which openly touts Marxism. Soros is equally devious, having secretly funded J Street so that the anti-Israel group could pretend to be a moderate opponent without being associated with a noted enemy of the Jewish state. But there's a whole other thing with that too, the whole anti-Israel thing, and I'm not going to really get into too much of that. But publicly, he bashes Z and China, while his Quincy Institute defends the People's Republic of China and advocates alongside the Squad against anti-China measures. Weiss has plowed a fortune into American politics without ever even going on the record as to whether he holds an American citizenship. Meanwhile, Weiss Hub Project, operating out of STF, set up fronts like Floridans for a fair shake, Keep Iowa Healthy, and North Carolina's for a fair economy that went after Republicans. This is a politics. It's a hostile foreign takeover. Onimar is also is heavily involved in the covert efforts by big tech targeting U.S. citizens. Now, these people are doing this because they can. This is there is no pushback, not even from the right, for this foreign interference. But let me know what you think about this foreign interference. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time. Peace.